Here's a blue pencil. Blue pencils, you could use a blue pencil to kind of scope out the shapes of things. Like this is a large circle here, basic shape. A little triangle, you know, pointed. So you want to get the angles right, right? And you could see the round circle, the chin will drop underneath that round circle like that. You try to get this angle, you know, get that angle. Those are the important angles like that. So if you go down the center of this shape, the chin's over to the left. So I missed it a little bit. So the bottom of the chin will be like this. And you want to look at the chin and the top of the head. The top of the head's about right here. Halfway is the eyes. So you figure the top of the head is here, and then you know this here is hair. Half of that is the eyes. Okay, but you want to draw a line here from the chin to the crown of the head because he's slightly turned, it's not straight on. So it's not going to be straight up and down. That straight up and down was just to get the chin in the right place, but let's go this. It's something like this. Whoops. So it's a slight curve, not a big one. Okay? So then you want to scope out where the mouth is. The mouth is in an angle like that. It falls right above the chin, so you want to get that right. If you go this here, the center line is actually a curve. It goes through the nose and it goes through the middle of the mouth, and then the chin doesn't fall where it should. It looks this eye. Well, let's get the nose. The nose is here, and it's just like basically two angles. You want to get that angle. Now the space between the nose and the mouth is really important, and the space between the eyes and the nose. So we want to get the nose first. The chin is important, but it doesn't really define the whole personality, but it's very important. You see this comes out, it doesn't go in, it's pretty much like a V shape with the rest of the head here. So it starts to come up and then it stops, and then the ear comes up. So the way you want to draw the ear, make sure it goes across the right thing. It's in the right location. So that looks like it's good. The next thing is important is where you place the eye in relation to the nose. So the nose kind of ends right here. That's where that line ends. And it's not far before the eye drops in. And you can see there's an angle to it. And then you want to, and then, so the size of the eye too. Cartoons, the eyes get big. Here, you see the end of the nose ends here. Now, so I'm looking at it, and it looks like it's too scrunched and it's too wide. So if you look at this, the whole general shape is upward slant. So it's more than, so I'm gonna start drawing in with a pencil so I can make corrections. And then the eyeball is like here somewhere. Now the nose. Now I back off and I check. I do checks on whether it's looking weird or not. And so this end of the mouth goes up to the nose. So I have the placement about right here. It's like no smile, and then there's a slight upper lip, very small lower lip, and then the chin comes here. You want to make sure the chin, the distance between the lower lip and the chin is right. Looks like I had it too low. And then it's going to come up with a simple line that kind of bows out a little bit and then kind of goes up. And I think the ear's higher here than what I had. So you're always making corrections. The ear's got It's almost like a triangle, point, 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 right here. And then you drop in the detail later. Now there's going to be a hair in here, but I want to get the face drawn correctly. There's a lot of space between the bridge of the nose and this eye here. So I'm erasing that because I just did a little check and it looks like it's not. So that space between the eye and the nose is very important in making someone look real, look right. Now the space between the end of the eye and the ear, you have to get right. And so it's just a matter of just doing checks. So this angle's like this. I kind of got this. I think I got that angle. And then this angle comes in almost like level. So it's quite different from the other eye. I'm just dropping in little points where I can go back and add detail, but there's a slight eyelid there. Then there's an eyebrow here that comes across. It's mostly hidden. Same with this one. So you just drop that in. It's not gonna be a big issue. But so because the hair is a big part of the drawing, it's going to define things. So, but you're going to have a little, you want to get the main shapes in with your hair. You know, you want to define the left and right lines and then how far down it's going to go. Then you can add in the details later. This eye, I think I have it, it's too wide. So you always have to do, like get into the detail and then you back off and look and see, is this going in the right direction? So the eyes like this, a lot of detail. So this eye is more of a straight line, so I'm gonna straighten that out. I had too much curve to it. For the eyeballs, it's about how much it touches and how much is shown above that gives the personality. So I'm just gesturing a lot of this in because this stuff isn't giving me a lot of detail. The drawing is very, but what you can always do is drop highlights in. Highlights could be in a little triangle or circle, and then you just stay away from that. Like that, and then so he has a little triangle here. When you draw these, you have it radiate out from the center because that's how the eye actually looks. Then maybe a little outline, a little bit darker, and then you want to drop in the eyelash. And sometimes you don't have to draw every eyelash. You just kind of, because that detail isn't really seen, and nor is it very defined. So I'm not going to put too much detail. This eye bows down a little bit more than I think it should. See this narrow curve. So with the nose, there's not a lot, but it defines it more here. So I'm going to put a little bit more there, and that's it. This is a curved line. It kind of goes to a point. Now, what defines it? A lot of shading. So you can do something like that, bottom here. And then same with the upper lip. This upper lip's like the eye. You could add and then a little shadow under the bottom lip. So I'm looking at this, and it is pretty pointed here in the chin, so I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to drop in the neck, just so I get it done. That shadow will come in at that angle. This collar will come in that angle. And then he has his neck go down here. Well, it goes further down. Again, the clothing is not a big thing about caption. And then since this is there's a shadow running up and down here, I'll draw a bunch of vertical lines here to kind of show that the shadow. In here it's darker, so we go in here. He's kind of moody. He's not smiling, and that's because the eyelid is falling over the eye. So, whoops, I kind of obliterated that highlight, but I think that's okay. And it gets thicker here. And then so all this hair comes down. It's really cool. It doesn't have to all be straight lines. Sometimes you can see cross hatches in there. And so you just fill this out and you can see some action in here. And that stuff is interesting. He's got really interesting hair, so we do want to highlight that. The ear does not look real, but we just drop in some hints there. And what I mean by it doesn't look real, it doesn't look like it's anatomically correct, but that's cartoon. And so you got to take liberties. Now this, you can see it's going off the page. And so his head is going up here. And so this could be interesting things. You could just leave it like that, makes it interesting. Wherever you get the lightest spot is maybe here and here. The darkest spot is right next to it, and that creates a lot of contrast. So you do want to capture that, those darks and lights. And so you just capture it by doing it that way. Sometimes you turn the paper. Now I'm looking at this cheek is smaller, and so does it have this much space in here? So it might be a matter of cutting that in a little bit. So you can make that correction fairly easy. You just kind of duplicate the path of the lines that are creating the contour. Now what else? I see dark, really a lot of dark in here. So you want to capture the darks and lights as it's shown here. And so this is dark and it goes light here. This is a light colored shirt, but there's a shadow here. So, and then cross hatching, you can actually cross the lines, but I wouldn't go at right angles. I would just keep the angles similar. And you got to be careful with that because it's you just want to make sure it looks like what you want it to look like. And so there's action going in here, but you kind of lose the emphasis on this because you want to make sure that this is correct. I think his eyes he's more moody, so I want to get that mood. I want to change the mood by changing the eyes here. And you can see this eye, it kind of is, how much this comes in is important because it shows how much the eye is being blocked, and that could set the mood pretty good.